political announcement brought to you by People for Rockefeller.
You need education. Now, in the old days, both of my grandfathers were dropouts from school at the age of 14, and they didn't do too badly.
Nelson Rockefeller.
I am General James Gavin. I'm an independent. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce this film because I would particularly like as many people as possible to meet this man, Governor Nelson Rockefeller, the man whom I admire tremendously and I'm supporting for the presidency of the United States. He has that rare quality of understanding the domestic problems, knowing how to solve them, and then solving them.
And one of the candidates said the answer to our cities, move all the people out of the cities. Well, anyone who's lived in the city know the people are not going. They don't want to move out of the city. They like to live in it, but they want a decent place to live in the city. Why can't we make these cities beautiful places to live? I'll never forget, as I was graduating from college, my father had undertaken a project for, it was going to be a cultural center, but then the Depression came and it fell through, so he started the development of Rockefeller Center. And he had leased for 25 years 3 blocks from, I hate to mention it now, but Columbia University. And he started to build a great industrial and cultural, office space and cultural project there, complex. Everybody said he was crazy. They called it Rockefeller's Folly. They said that, you know, they don't need any new space, that we're in a tremendous period of depression and so forth. But he had faith in the future of America. This was 3 blocks of speakeasies. Now it is the symbol and the center of New York. And it was this same spirit that the state is now building, an office building and a cultural complex in the heart of Harlem. We have faith in the heart of Harlem. We have faith in the people that live there, and we want to see the same kind of renaissance and regrowth and development. And believe me, as we stand here, as you sit here and I stand here today, I'm saying I think we're going to see the greatest period of regrowth of our cities, and we're going to see beautiful places to live where you can bring up your children in the kind of environment that is going to make it possible for them to be the kind of citizens you want to see them be. They get good education, they have cultural opportunities, recreational opportunities. This country, if it puts its mind to it and gives a national commitment back of it, can do anything. And these are doable things, and I have deep faith that now is the time to do them. Thank you. Okay.
The most popular Republican candidate with the American people, Nelson Rockefeller, has been coming up from behind in the race for his own party's nomination. In the first 6 weeks of his campaign, he traveled to 20 states, even while he carried on the tough job of governor of New York during the crucial last days of a legislative session. With the end of the legislative session, his campaign moved into top gear. Then on June 5th, the nation was stunned by tragedy for the second time in 2 months. An assassin had shot Senator Robert Kennedy. Governor Rockefeller suspended all political activities.
He cared. And with his death, a strong hand has fallen from the torch of freedom, and it is up to those of us who remain to dedicate ourselves and to rededicate ourselves to achievement of the American goal and the American dream for the future of this great country. As far as my own campaign is concerned, I feel a tremendous personal commitment. And therefore,
The National Press Club, Washington, D.C.
to reach the American people. The American people who, in my opinion, are in a new mood. a mood of deep distress, sense of tragedy. But the people have got to make a choice in this country. And this choice will be made first by the parties and then by the people. But the people will influence the choice of the parties. They've got to choose between a new leadership or the old politics. A new leadership that can see America as it is, can see the world as it is, can see the realities of the world in which we're living, can see the meaning of change, can see the forces that are evolving, the forces that are emerging, and understand their significance and what their impact is going to be on tomorrow and the day after. And that understanding these forces and believing deeply in the basic goals of this country can shape these forces to serve our purposes and not allow them, as the old politics have, to overwhelm us in the form of crises. There's nothing that we can't deal with. There's no reason for us to lose faith in ourselves or in our institutions. We have the most flexible institutions of any nation in the history of civilized man. The federal system, federal, state, local government, the private institutions, the free enterprise system, all of the social institutions, each allowing for the imagination, the creativity, the ingenuity of free citizens to full play and full opportunity. And this country and the leadership of this country is going to determine which way we go. You ask me why I've come into public life in terms of the national, seeking the nomination for the presidency of the United States again. This is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, I would like the opportunity to provide this country with that new leadership. I thank you.
Nelson Rockefeller puts his campaign back into high gear. He has already traveled over half the nation. Now Rockefeller feels that he must personally present himself to as many people as it is humanly possible to do. He determines to cover the country before August 5th to explain his views and discuss the issues with all the people. An open convention means the voice of the people may name the nominee. That more Americans think Nelson Rockefeller would be a good president and has a better chance of winning than any other Republican candidate is shown by polls across the land and given voice to by concerned voters here in Iowa.